Scott, happy Monday morning, buddy. Let's talk about it. Apparently, there is a PlayStation 5 Pro on the way. Specs are detailed. Tom Henderson over at Insider Gaming. Following this week's leaks on the PlayStation Pro GPU specs and performance targets, Insider Gaming has learned more PlayStation Pro specs. For comparison's sake, we'll also take the specifications of the standard PS5. So let's break it down, Scott. System memory for the regular PlayStation 5 that we all currently have is 448 gigs. Dude, not nearly enough. Not nearly enough. So why don't we increase it then for the PS5 Pro? Makes a ton of sense, right? If you had to increase it, Scott, how much more would you like to see it increased?
Yeah, I would like to see 1 terabyte at least. That's at least a little bit more than double.
Well, I got bad news for you because it's only 576 gigabytes. It's a 28% increase over the standard console. Again, not nearly enough, dude. But like, you put 4 games on there, 5 games, and you're out. Like it is.
Yeah,
insane.
that holds one 2K game.
Yeah. Wait till GTA 6 comes out. How big do you think that is going to be? Like, it is not going to fit, man. An outline is that PlayStation 5's Pro system memory is more efficient than the standard console, so the bandwidth gain may increase by over 28%. The CPU is identical to the standard PlayStation 5. However, the Pro has a high CPU frequency mode, which takes the CPU to 3.85 GHz, a 10% increase over the standard console. The high CPU frequency mode, more powerful, is allocated to the CPU and will downclock the GPU by around 1.5%, resulting in roughly 1% lower GPU performance. Great. Audio-wise, Scott, the ACV in the PlayStation 5 Pro runs a higher clock speed over the standard PlayStation 5, resulting in the ACM library having 35% more performance. Okay, more convolution reverbs can be preceded, more FFT or IFFT can be processed. GPU previously revealed rendering 45% faster than PS5, 2 to 3 times ray tracing, 4 times in some cases, at 33.5 teraflops. The PlayStation Spectral, so the PSSR, PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution Upscaling or Upscaling Anti-Aliasing Solution. Support for resolution up to 8K. Scott, who has a TV right now that has 8K that they're pumping it with?
Who has eyes that can see in 8K at this time?
Not you.
Not after years of gaming.
No, man, my eyes are burnt. That's why I got glasses now. Like, what's wrong with this? Yeah, it's planned for a future SDK version, custom machine learning architecture, AI accelerator supporting 300 tops of 8-bit computation, which is 67 T-flops. Man, dude, this is a lot of bits and numbers and this, that, and the other. It's also understood that it means to make the PlayStation 5 Pro as competitive, not by phasing here, really, not by phrasing, as possible. Interesting to see how it's going to be more competitive, or at least competitive with what's already out there. Dude, they're already leading the market. I'm a little baffled by this. It will have a detachable disk drive, which will be identical to the latest iteration of the standard PlayStation 5, and 1 terabytes of storage space. I don't know if this is even necessary, Scott. This is basically what I'm coming down to, man. I don't need this.
No, it does kind of seem like a small tweak of what's already been made, overclocking here and there, and a little bit of a spike in performance. But I'm not sure that I see much of consequence to the average gamer. Maybe the ability to render things at a quicker speed, but that's still, I feel like we're already at the dawn of a new generation in that regard.
Yeah, I think we're already at a level right now that the developers haven't tapped out. Not even close to tapping our potential with the PlayStation 5. Never mind getting a PlayStation 5 Pro. At the end of the day, Scott, dude, is it just a money grab for those who are like, ooh, I need the new and shiny? Typically, that is me. I'm down for the new, the shiny, what is the latest and greatest. But when I take a look at it, I'm like, yo, PlayStation, you want to send us one? We'd gladly be able to take a look at it and go from there, right? See how much does this really push the performance. Maybe there is something we're just not seeing, right? That's the other side of it, too. maybe when you go to a dev and they're like, yeah, look at the PS5 Pro versus the PS5. Oh man, there's a huge difference. I'd love to get word from the inside as an actual developer to hear from them to see, is this a huge significance going from PlayStation 5 to PlayStation 5 Pro? Because from what I'm seeing right now, dude, the biggest thing I complain about personally is just the lack of storage. But you can get the upgrade, which I'm probably going to get here shortly.
Yeah, they'll gladly sell you the upgrade for that.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a 2 terabyte and a 4 terabyte. I'm like, the 4 is just a little overpriced. Like, not a little, it is well overpriced. So I'm not going that way for sure. But at the same time, I'm like, man, it comes with the detachable. Like, it just sounds like a PS5, like 1.5. Like, it's not even like a.
Is this
like that's what the Pro is?
Does this possibly
for, right?
explain? Does this possibly explain the issue with PlayStation's first-party lineup, and how maybe having 2 SKUs, 2 different kind of hardwares to design for, might have added a little bit more complication into that? I'm not sure if that's well, somebody's made that decision. Is it valuable enough to upgrade just a little bit? But I think you're right. Actually, I think it's something about the new and shiny to keep Sony in the kind of the mind share without having those first-party games dropping.
Well, it's one of those things. Instead of waiting a full console cycle and then dropping PlayStation 6, they come out now with the refresh, right? We had it with the PS4 as well, with PS4, PS4 Pro. We saw the PS3 get iteration after iteration after iteration too, which they're, you know, downsizing and then doing this, and then you get the George Foreman grill, the whole works, right? And then you get into PS4 life cycle, and then all of a sudden you get PS4 Pro. I'm like, okay, cool. There's actually a decent jump there, right? And then you get PS5. Dude, PS4 Pro to PS5 is like significant. But you gotta go, okay, advancement of technology is gonna push this along. Cool. We get PS5, man, awesome. PS5 Pro, right? It's PS5.5 is basically what we're gonna get here until we get the PS6. Is there enough then to go from PS5 Pro to the PlayStation 6? Or do they just start doing these every couple years? Here's the newest version, right? Do we get a 6, Scott? Or do we just get like an update instead? I don't know, man. Like, it just seems
it becomes like
unnecessary.
Yeah, it becomes a Sony personal computer at that point, just buying upgrades and doing it out in piecemeal. It's a weird world we live in, but it's not impossible. Is this going to be the first step before Xbox responds? Is this maybe Sony getting out ahead of that? Maybe they're aware of some announcement that we're not of.
Xbox got rumored that they're having the digital version only, right? We do know that that's what they're coming out with. We have yet to see it, but we do know that they have that. But then on the other side of it, are we getting the Xbox Series X Pro version as well? Is that coming down the line? Because we got it last time. So, oh, dude, just like the battle continues. But is it necessary? Time will tell.
Fate only binds you if you let it.